Welcome to Dr. Jester Talks, and I'm gonna talk about this. From Arutz Shiva, or Israel National News. Russian fighter approaches Israeli passenger jet of the Mediterranean. Israeli civilian plane and Russian fighter jet involved in... my neck. Sorry about that. An incident of the Mediterranean. Well, the picture shown here is a bit dishonest or misleading. The actual picture that is shown here, it's not the Su-27. That's an Su-33. Possibly... yes, there's Su-33. Why? Because of the canards over here, and it's a two-seater. Here you can see the radar operator and the pilot over here. This is a MiG-29. I think I don't know why they use this picture, but the Su-27, which is the first version of the flanker, it's a land-based fighter. This one is it's a carrier-operated fighter plane, a fighter bomber actually. So this airplane here, the Su-27, it's most likely coming indeed from some base in Syria. So definitely not from the Russian Sol aircraft carrier, which is a gas guzzler. That thing eats fuel like there is no tomorrow, and it's notoriously unreliable. It breaks often and all the damn time. A Russian fighter jet was involved in an air incident with an Israeli civilian aircraft Sunday, according to a report by Yedot Aharonot Monday morning. An Israel Airlines Airbus A320 aircraft was flying from the Greek island of Rhodes back to Israel Ben Gurion International Airport Sunday afternoon, when a Russian Air Force Su-27 fighter jet approached it without warning. The Russian fighter jet reportedly approached the Israeli aircraft as soon as the civilian plane entered Cypriot airspace. The report said that the Israeli plane and its passengers were not in danger during the incident. The Su-27 flew within a distance of approximately 1 mile from the A320 and traveled at high speed during the incident. Well, that's definitely something different in comparison to what the Russians have a tendency on doing with other airplanes and with NATO themselves, because they have a tendency to fly very, very close and potentially putting the other airplane into harm's way, not only because of the weight it generates, because that can actually really put the airplane into a crash or a spin or other things, and potentially could actually cause a mid-air collision. And that's also extremely dangerous. So much so that around initially around the year 2000-ish, there was a collision between a Chinese airplane and an American airplane. Because the Chinese also have the same mentality as the Russians, so they actually go and fly very close, and that caused a mid-air collision, so much so that that was on international airspace. In China, we all know, China loves to flaunt that they own certain areas that belongs to other countries in South China Sea. Anyway, in this case, we can actually see the Russians invading the Cypriot airspace, which doesn't belong to them, but apparently since half of it is invaded by the Turks, and Turks love the Russians, at least for now, they seem to have allowed it. It's bullshit, if you'll ask me. Anyway, back to the news. The report said that the Israeli plane and its passengers were not in danger. Okay, already read that. Several additional civilian aircraft were in the vicinity at the time of the incident, and also reported the disruption to Cypriot air traffic officials who worked to ensure that the civilian planes remained at safe distance from the Russian fighter. Russia has reportedly increased its air activity around Cyprus, ostensibly to protect Russian forces operating off the Syrian coast, east of Cyprus. And that's about it for the news. Now let me discuss it a little bit further. This is a bit worrisome too, because civilian airplanes, overwhelmingly, the majority of them, very rare situations, they display a transponder or a code in which they transmit to the tower. So you know almost 100% of the time where their position is, including altitude, including speed, which you can actually even see on flight radar and on other things on the internet, which you can actually flight radar 24, or there's another website that I actually forgot the address, but you can actually see the airplanes worldwide, anywhere in the world, because of that. It transmits all the position, the airspeed, altitude, and things like that from the airplane to radio transmitters in the ground. So this is no excuse from the Russians to go on and intercept the airplane flying on a very known, notorious a road, or as you can call it, an air road, or in this case, usually Jesus Christ, I actually forgot the name. Well, you know, it's a direction from one radio beacon to the other radio beacon. And all airplanes fly around in that direction, or in that intersection. So they are usually separated by 1,000 feet from one or the other. And that's unknown flying traffic things. I don't know why the Russians would actually go on and intercept the airplane. Then again, they are notoriously known to actually shoot civilian planes down. From the Ukrainian airplane, no, not the Ukrainian airplane, the Malaysian 777 that was shot in Ukrainian territory from a Russian, and not only a Russian anti-air missile, but from a Russian crew in Ukraine, to other airplanes that they've shot down, including in Japanese areas or Japanese airplanes, civilian airplanes during the Cold War. They are notoriously known to do that. So this